Trying to figure out the world of senior living for a parent or a loved one, wow, it's one of the biggest and, let's be honest, most emotional journeys a family can go on. It is just filled with questions and some really complex choices. So today, we're going to lay out a clear roadmap to help guide you through it all. And if you're feeling lost or confused or just totally stressed out by all the different options, the lingo, the costs, that is completely normal. I mean, this whole process can really feel like you're stuck in a maze with no clear way out. But here's the good news. You really don't have to navigate it by yourself. Think of this explainer as your map and your compass. We're going to break this whole journey down into simple, manageable steps and hopefully give you the clarity and the confidence you need to make the best decision for your family. Okay, so let's dive right in. The very first step on any journey is knowing where you're going, right? Well, in the world of senior living, that means understanding the different destinations or levels of care that are out there. It's really helpful to think of senior care as a continuum, kind of like a spectrum of support that can change as a person's needs change over time. It all starts with independent living, which is really more of a lifestyle choice. Then you've got assisted living for that non-medical day-to-day support. After that is memory care, which provides very specialized help for cognitive decline. And then at the far end of the spectrum is skilled nursing for when someone needs round-the-clock medical care from licensed professionals. Let's break down the most common options a little more. So first up, independent living. Now, this is not about needing care. It's all about choosing a lifestyle. It's perfect for active, self-sufficient seniors who are just done with home maintenance and want a built-in community with activities, dining, and friends right outside their front door. Now let's move on to the next step. Assisted living is for when that balance starts to shift a bit. A senior is still mostly independent, but they might need a little helping hand with what we call activities of daily living. Things like remembering to take their meds, maybe help with getting dressed or bathing. The trigger here is usually a growing concern for their safety if they keep living all by themselves. Okay, memory care is a very specialized destination. When a loved one gets a diagnosis of Alzheimer's or another form of dementia, their needs change a lot. These communities are designed from the ground up to be secure and calming, and they're staffed with professionals who are trained in cognitive therapies to provide a really safe and supportive place to live. Now, here's an option that a lot of people don't even know exists: residential care homes. Think of these as a unique kind of assisted living, but instead of being in a big building, it's in a regular house in a normal neighborhood. The huge benefit here is an incredibly intimate, family-style feel with a really high ratio of caregivers to residents. It's a fantastic option for someone who might feel overwhelmed in a larger community or who just thrives in a more personal, homey setting. So this table really lays it all out at a glance. Independent living, all about lifestyle. Assisted living in residential homes, they're about that non-medical support. And memory care is all about highly specialized care for cognitive decline. The most important thing is to match the need to the right environment. All right, so once you have an idea of the right level of care, the next massive question on everybody's mind is, how in the world are we going to pay for this? So let's quickly walk through the most common financial routes. So the vast majority of senior living is covered by what's called private pay. That just means using personal savings, pensions, or maybe the money from selling a home. If your loved one was able to plan ahead, they might have a long-term care insurance policy, which can be a game changer. It's also absolutely worth looking into VA aid and attendance benefits if your loved one is a veteran. And while you've probably heard of Medicaid, it's really important to know that it typically only covers medical care in a skilled nursing facility, not the non-medical support you find in most assisted living communities. Okay, you know the type of care you need. You got a handle on the finances. Now, how do you actually find the right community? This is such a critical decision because who you trust to guide you can make all the difference in the world. This slide really shows the two completely different ways you can approach your search. On one side, you've got these huge national online directories, and they can be an okay starting point, but you have to understand their business model. They're basically call centers, and the person on the other end of the line has probably never even stepped foot in the communities in your area. On the other side, you have local placement advisors, like the folks at guideforseniors.com. Their entire focus is on providing personalized, in-person guidance based on their deep, first-hand knowledge of the local scene. And honestly, this quote says it all. A true local expert doesn't just glance at a brochure. They get the culture of a community. That's insider knowledge. They'll know that one place is perfect for a social butterfly who loves bridge, while another is way better for a quiet introvert who just wants a great library and some walking paths. That's a level of insight an anonymous voice on the phone just can't possibly provide. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this kind of personalized, high touch service has got to be expensive. But here's the most important part: it costs your family absolutely nothing. Zero. The service is paid for by the partner communities, kind of like how a real estate agent's commission works, which means you get unbiased, expert guidance without any financial stress. This number right here, it really shows the depth of that local knowledge. We're not talking about just a handful of places. We're talking about a comprehensive, fully vetted network of over 150 local options. That means they can find the perfect match for your loved one's specific needs, their personality, and, of course, your budget. So, what does this actually look like in practice? How do you get started on this simpler, more supported path? Let's just look at the process. It all kicks off with a simple conversation, a free consultation, just to understand your family's unique situation. From there, your local advisor does all the legwork and gives you a hand-picked list of the best matched communities. And they don't just email you a list. They schedule the tours, they go with you, and they help you ask the really tough questions. You have support every single step of the way. At the end of the day, you don't have to walk this path alone. Choosing a guide who has real local expertise and a compassionate approach can completely transform this overwhelming maze into a clear, manageable, and truly supported journey. The right path forward is waiting for you.